So in beginning this presentation, I would like to define the research itself and also discuss a little bit about my interest in it. As a little background, I have a bachelor's degree in history from Thomas Edison State University and a master's in theological studies from Nations University, and have been accepted into the THD program at Forge Theological Seminary. As for my dissertation topic itself, I'll be researching Christian persecution in general and future persecution in the United States specifically. I will also explore the connections between persecution and the philosophy of death, as well as how persecution is informed by the Enochian worldview. This subject kind of snuck up on me while pursuing my master's degree. Most of my research in the past has focused on either history or philosophy or eschatology in the study of death and the intermediate state and the Enochian worldview. But this research most specifically has focused on persecution against the American church. It really has presented itself primarily because of the events that have happened, the political and social and cultural events that we have experienced in the last several years in the United States. But persecution is not really a new concept in the church. In fact, persecution is really the universal tie that binds all Christians throughout its history. The early church experienced persecution from 33 AD to 400 AD, on and off throughout that time period, primarily from the Roman government as well. They also did experience persecution and strife from the Jewish establishment and also from the Roman culture, for several different reasons, but primarily the persecution was from the Roman state. After 400 AD, Christians throughout church history experienced persecution from a different front, and that was primarily from other self-professing Christians. Now, from 400 to 1600 AD, this was a time when the Christian faith became the prominent faith and also the only legal faith in many aspects, in many respects. And so there was a shift from being persecuted from outside of the faith to being persecuted because of orthodoxy or because of a lack of orthodoxy. So those who were in power, those who wielded control of the forces, they sought to put down anybody that was not or did not believe or did not profess orthodoxy. So we see persecution has moved through the church, has moved throughout the church history, but for many different reasons at many different times. Now, the American church is unique because the American church in its 250-year history, in fact, the entire time span of American history as a country, as a nation, the American church has never experienced persecution on any level. Many American Christians do not actually view persecution as a universal Christian right anymore, or as much of the rest of Christianity around the globe sees Christianity, or that Christianity was seen in its historical context. Rather, many denominations in America see suffering in the individual Christian's life as a consequence of some sort of unrepentant sin. So the question remains, and the question needs to be asked, and this is one of the main questions that will be asked in this research, where I will attempt to answer this question: is American church ready for widespread and severe persecution in the future?